Pwyll Pen Annwn is a prominent figure in Welsh mythology and literature, the Lord of Dyfed, husband of Rhiannon and father of the hero Pryderi. He is the eponymous hero of Pwyll Pendefig Dyfed, the first branch of the four branches of the Mabinogi, and also appears briefly as a member of Arthur's court in the medieval tale Culhwch. Olwen.Pwyll, Prince of Dyfed, also carries many similarities to the Mabinogi Branwen. Origin of Pwyll, Prince of Dyfed. This tale is one of a group found in the Mabinogi and one of the earliest known efforts to form a collection of traditional Welsh tales. Such tales, which date back to circa 1325 CE, were originally passed from person to person and generation to generation orally. The Celtic oral tradition lasted for several centuries and is a possible reason for the abundance of errors and discrepancies found in the Mabinogi as well as other Welsh literature dating back to the 14th century or earlier. Professor Sian Davies of Cardiff University explains the importance of the Celtic oral tradition in appreciating Welsh literature. This way, the Mabinogi were tales to be read aloud to a listening audience. The parchment was interactive and vocality was of its excellence. Indeed, many passages can only be truly captured by the speaking voice. Pwyll, Prince of Dyfed. While hunting in Culhwch, Pwyll, Prince of Dyfed, becomes separated from his companions and stumbles across a pack of hounds feeding on a slain stag. Pwyll drives the hounds away and sets his own hounds to feast, earning the anger of Arwen, lord of the otherworldly kingdom of Annwn. In recompense, Pwyll agrees to trade places with Arwen for a year and a day, taking on the lord's appearance and takes his place at Arwen's court. At the end of the year, Pwyll engages in single combat against Halfdan, Arwen's rival, and mortally wounds him with one blow and earns Arwen overlordship of all of Annwn. After Halfdan's death, Pwyll and Arwen meet once again, revert to their old appearance and return to their respective courts. They become lasting friends because Pwyll slept chastely with Arwen's wife for the duration of the year. As a result of Pwyll's successful ruling of Annwn, he earns the title Pwyll Pen Annwn, Pwyll, head of Annwn. Sometime later, Pwyll and his noblemen ascend the Mound of Gorsedd Arberth and witness the arrival of Rhiannon, appearing to them as a beautiful woman dressed in gold silk brocade and riding a shining white horse. Pwyll sends his best horsemen after her, but she always remains ahead of them, though her horse never does more than amble. After 3 days, Pwyll himself rides out to meet her, and when he cannot catch her, he calls out to her in desperation. Only then does Rhiannon stop. She tells him her name and that she has come seeking him because she would rather marry him than her fiancé, Gwawl'Pwyll. She tells him to come to her kingdom 1 year from the day, with his soldiers, and they will marry. A year after the meeting, Pwyll arrives as promised but accidentally and foolishly promises his beloved Rhiannon to Gwawl'Pwyll. This occurs when Gwawl'Pwyll enters the court extremely distraught and sues for a favor of the king. Gwawl'Pwyll plays to the nobility and generosity of Pwyll, as well as his rashness and passion, and Pwyll tells Gwawl'Pwyll that whatever it is that he should ask him, that he would give it to him. Gwawl'Pwyll of course asks for his fiancée, Rhiannon, which Pwyll, due to his naive promise, could not refuse. It is decided that they should all come back to the kingdom in 1 year's time for yet another wedding. Rhiannon devises a plan by which Pwyll might win her back from Gwawl'Pwyll. Pwyll enters the wedding festivities of Gwawl'Pwyll and Rhiannon dressed as a beggar and asks Gwawl'Pwyll for a bag full of food. Gwawl nobly consents but is tricked when Pwyll forces Gwawl inside the bag and he and his men begin to beat him brutally. Gwawl finally gives in so long as Pwyll will spare his life. Pwyll agrees and has managed to win back Rhiannon through the deceiving and dishonoring of Gwawl. The men of the land were worried that there would not be an heir to follow Pwyll and advised him to take a second wife. He set a date where this would happen, but before long Rhiannon gave birth to a boy. On the night of his birth, the boy was lost while under the care of 6 of Rhiannon's ladies-in-waiting. Scared of the punishment, the ladies smeared dog's blood onto a sleeping Rhiannon, claiming that she had committed infanticide and cannibalism through eating and destroying her child. Word traveled throughout the land and the nobles requested Pwyll to divorce his wife, but since it was proven that Rhiannon could have children and produce an heir, he did not want to divorce her, rather have her punished for her wrongdoings by the courts. Rhiannon finally decided to accept the punishment given to her. This punishment was to sit outside the city's gates at the mounting block and tell everyone her story for 7 years. She also had to offer to carry all guests up to the city on her back for payment of her crimes. This was to be her punishment for her accused crimes of eating her child. At the same time, Rhiannon, the Lord of Gwent's co-ed, had a mare which produced a foal every year but would disappear the night it was born. To solve this problem, he brought the mare into his house and kept watch over it throughout the night. As soon as the colt was born, a great claw came through the window and grabbed the colt. Rhiannon cut off the arm and kept the colt but heard a roar outside and found a baby boy. He and his wife claimed the boy as their own and named him Gwawl urine, for all the hair on his head was as yellow as gold. The child grew to adulthood at a superhuman pace and, as he matured, his likeness to Pwyll grew more obvious and, eventually, Rhiannon realized Gwal's true identity. The boy was eventually reunited with Pwyll and Rhiannon and was renamed Pryderi, meaning anxiety or care. The tale ends with Pwyll's death and Pryderi's ascension to the throne.